Good morning, everybody. This is Diggs. It's another beautiful day out here in the Pacific Northwest. Hope all of you guys are doing fantastic on your Tuesday morning. Today, we're going to be talking about Sylma, the new free MR unit that is going to be given to everybody and that you can max out through the quest line that is going to be coming out this week. Additional note here, Sylma is also one of the last, or potentially the last, MR unit we will ever see. Up to the current point in JP, they have not had a new MR unit past Sylma. Let's go ahead and dig in. So Sylma is a red mage. And because Sylma's a red mage, you know that means jamming thrust is for everybody. Sylma is interesting in that she also has access to Kododama and Green Mage sub, the standard sword weapons, hat, clothes, and accessories. TMR is interesting, not required by any means, but it is a sword that gives magic and slash resistance 8% for self. If you're looking for more defensive utility, you could utilize it. I would say in most situations, though, you are not going to want to sacrifice either that magic attack up or magic on another sword that you might be equipping like Lohengrin. Mastery ability, gonna give lightning attack 10, HP 10 for lightning allies. She's also gonna get agility 10 for herself and spirit 10 for herself as well. Resistance is 5% to slash, weak 10% to fist and piercing, 5% resistance to missile, and 10% resistance to magic. The resistance elements are a little weird here because it's 15% on both sides. So we do have 15% weakness to earth, 15% to water. I feel like the resistances sometimes like shuffle around or change based on the unit. So just something to keep in mind is she is going to have some extra resistance there to water units, specifically like Tidus, for example. Taking a look at her stats, 2600 HP, starting out with 82 AP, that's without an Esper equipped, so pretty good. Magic at 455 is not the highest, but you have to keep in mind a lot of the UR magic users have about 550, so it's not the worst either. Coming in at Spirit 12 in her kind of innate kit, also Agility 67, which is really high, and probably the most important thing, and I can't emphasize this enough, Sylma is the only unit in the game, as far as I know, that has both charm resistance and confusion resistance at the same time at 50%. Now, this might sound like it's not a big deal until you start writing a tower guide like I have been for the last 2 weeks or modifying it, and you realize that quite often in situations in PvE, enemies have access, particularly Lamias, to both confusion and charm. And so when you're considering units to put into fights like that, Sylma is your go-to. In terms of weapons, I actually think the Coral Sword is the best weapon for Sylma. I haven't done the math on it at all, but I feel like that lightning attack plus 30 is just hard to negotiate with. Of course, you'll probably get similar results from Adelard's TMR and a Magic Lohengrin as well. It's probably not going to be that much different, but I do think if you're looking to like maybe optimize, you will want to look towards the Coral Sword route. Taking a look at her passive, she does have the Kododama magic up. She does have the Red Mage initial AP up. Any one of those could be good. You have to keep in mind though that she does start with a high amount of AP, being that she is a Red Mage. So you don't necessarily need initial AP up for a lot of the situations that you're going into. Mage's Blessing from Red Mage is also going to get an upgrade here and is a must set for her. Keep in mind, remember, she had really high agility, and she also has a buff here on Mage support to give magic resistance 15% and agility 12% for self. So she is going to be a very fast unit. She also has access to the Green Mage sub, which increases debuff resistance and magic resistance. Blessings of the Water Spirit is going to increase water resistance, and Emerald Echo to increase buff duration. So lots of interesting passives that you could set. Definitely kind of a specific path, I think, for her, but she does have access to a lot of magic resistance. You can even see she can get upwards of 27% magic resistance just from her passive. So that is pretty remarkable, considering she already has 10% magic resistance, and she does have access to some barriers as well further down in her kit. In terms of her counters, we do have magic reflex. We also have the body is like iron, which reduces 30% of the damage taken 20% of the time. I would say that's probably one of my favorite ones, especially since Sylma seems to be a type of unit that wants to take a hit. Although I do love Green Mage's Dispel counter. I feel like Dispel counter has saved me in the past, very similar to Slow counter that White Mages get a lot of times, or is it Time Mages? I think it's Time Mages because I think the White Mages just always have Sub-Time Mage. So I think it's a lot of the Sub-Time Mages that have that. Take a look at the main kit here, Jamming Thrust. Like, I have to go for it, right? Jamming Thrust, one of the best abilities in the game. The fact that you're getting it on a 120 unit with really high agility, I mean, it's incredible. The upgrade for her 120 form to Fast Cast is interesting as well. It's going to decrease the activation time for abilities by 350 on an ally, and it's going to increase the ally's defense by 20 for 3 turns. This is really powerful, and it just really kind of capitalizes on that defensive nature of this unit, right? Like she can kind of transition into a really good defensive unit if you need her to be. Her job level 25 ability, talking about defense, gives 25% slash resistance and 25% missile resistance to allies. This is powerful. Like, this is, right? Like, if you consider all the resistances that she already has, like, she is going to be able to take a hit. This ability also going to be really important in tower. Now, for those of you that don't know or haven't been watching me kind of edit the upcoming tower guide on stream, there are enemies that are going to have defense penetration and resistance penetration, specifically like water resistance or lightning resistance, right? Like they're going to bypass a unit's resistances to both defense, spirit, and element. So the only way to reduce damage is going to be through barriers or buffs and native slash resistance and missile resistance and such. So getting abilities like this and knowing which units have this is really important, and I think Sylma is going to be a very good unit to level for tower. I would actually make the claim right now that Sylma is going to be one of the most important tower units in the game. Taking a look at her sub Red Mage kit, Esuna and Sleep, of course, not that impressive. You're probably going to be subbing Kododama because you are going to get a 100% hit ability from that. You're also going to get a magic barrier damage, right? So reduces the magic damage taken 50% for 3 turns to self. If you imagine that, in addition to all of the magic resistance that Sylma has, it just gets pretty disgusting. Of course, Kododama has access to some other great things in their kit. Specifically, they have like stun attack, and they also have like move and attack, right? So overall, Kododama is the way to go. Sub Green Mage is interesting. I definitely would never really recommend it unless you're doing like something where you need to chain or you need to like a raid or something. Well, not even chain, but like debuff an opponent, right? I don't think it's going to be useful. Maybe you'll use Bar Thundara at one point or another, right? But really, you're going to be subbing Kododama for Sylma pretty much everywhere you go. Talking about Espers, all the magic Espers are going to be great. Ramu, Bahamut, Shiva, Coral. Coral is not out yet, but Coral is going to have lightning attack and has a moderate amount of magic, so Coral could be used as a pretty good Esper for Sylma. Bahamut, of course, is probably going to be the best, and whenever Rama gets his 3-star form, Rama will probably be best in slot for Sylma. In terms of VCs, we are in a situation where Lightning doesn't really have a lot of unique buffing VCs, I would say. You're going to kind of stick to the standard, right? The magic standard, I would say. So you're going to want to put like Trousseau on. You're going to want to put Ramu on. When the Coral VC comes out, you can put the Coral VC on. And of course, in JP, they also have the Doom Scorpion or whatever his name is from Final Fantasy VII, which is also going to give lightning units slash resistance 20%, which would be a very nice addition with Sylma's kit. So she's definitely a unit that's going to be useful going forward and will probably be used in the future. The way that I'm thinking about Sylma right now, I'm thinking about Sylma the same way that I think about a limb, right? The amount of times that I've had to use a limb in a composition for my lightning units and kind of the versatility that a limb has, I really feel like you know, Sylma has that versatility as well. And I think that's what we're going to be using her for. Anyway, everybody, thanks so much for watching. As always, if you do want to support the channel, make sure you use my affiliate link, dig.gs/coins. As always, have a great rest of your day.